All right. I just wanted to say welcome to anyone and everyone that's paying attention. I don't know if there's anyone in here. Before we get started, there's people down the hall right there. I don't want them knowing my business, so we'll probably close the door. Got people to talk a lot around here. Sorry. Protect our business in political science. Being you're taking the intelligence course, this is called communication security or information security. I'm going to go ahead and hand out the syllabus here. You can find them online as well, the same sort of thing, done through simple syllabus, exactly the same way. I'm sure you have to do with tons of other classes now because of simple syllabus. This course, let me just go ahead and put it up there. Okay, it's currently number 4389. It will not be named. I'm not sure how it's going to work exactly because at some point this semester it will be changed during the middle of the semester to political science 4324. I don't know if it's going to show up for you this semester as that. So just be aware if someday, probably in April, it changes from political science 4389 to 4324. You didn't get dropped into a new class or anything like that. There's an official approvals process going on with the course. And so it is what it is. Just in case you do see that, I can't imagine you won't, but if you do, that'll work too. Of course, as an I and Angela doesn't know me, but I don't know you. I know you, but not. You haven't taken my class face to face before. My name is Taylor. Call me Taylor. Don't go Dr. McMichael way. It's weird, right? I'm not very formal. As we'll see throughout the entire semester, some of you know this from sending me emails, right? I always just respond with Taylor. Call me your lordship of political. No, right? We're not doing that, right? So it is what it is there. On here, I think I put, let's see, the idea of it is it's supposed to be special topics, but the special topic will end up to its own number. The main part of this class is to give students, especially political science majors, and we'll get into the other part of that in just a second, an introduction to modern China. Okay, I know that in the history department we got like an old China class, right, where they teach you about old things, right? And you get to become, someone told me this, that in the Chinese history class, they make you write a journal as though you're someone in China like in the 15th century or something. That's not my speed, right? I hate to break it to you, but that's not very interesting to me. But what I am interested in is giving students a very good understanding of what's going on in modern China, what's going on in East Asia, and especially as it goes to American politics over the last 4 to 6 years, right? China, right? There's a guy always talking about China. People will still be talking about China because if we're being realistic about it, it is the only country that poses a real national security and power threat to the United States. It is the only one. I know that we went through a couple of years, oh, Russia's really big, Russia. Yeah, we're kind of off that now, right? Kind of lose that track pretty quickly, okay? But China's really and it has been that way probably before all the Russia stole our election type stuff from fire. I know it seems like forever ago now, right? But even before that, it was probably true just the same. So that's why this course is really important. The other part of it is that there are also some strategic United States interests that are not necessarily China related or not necessarily dealing specifically to do with China, but are very important. For example, the DPRK nuclear program, right? Keeping stability in East Asia, especially over oil lands in, where would this be? Northeastern Russia, right? Siberia, those type of areas. And so, and also, when we get a little bit probably into the second or third lecture, we'll put a big map up there. How's it going? We're gonna put a second or third, map up there. There you go. There you go. A second or third, and, you don't need to close it all the way, just so people don't know our business. All right, a second or third, we'll put up a huge map of China, and you'll go, that country's really fucking big, right? You're gonna go, wow, it's really big. And so what you'll realize very quickly on is that China goes almost to Afghanistan, right? And then all the way to close to the coast of Japan, right? Remember that in eastern China, the distance between the coast of eastern China and Japan is less than 100 miles. And it goes all the way to Afghanistan, right? That is a huge area, okay? So what you're probably thinking about really quickly is it's like, whoa, they probably have a bunch of Buddhists. Yes. They probably have a bunch of Muslims. Yes, right? And we'll go through, as we get a little bit closer to the end of the semester, we'll talk a lot about the human rights issues, right? And it's not a fun issue to talk about, really. I don't really want to be a part of a gorathon, right, of human rights abuses in China, which you can do if you really want. But we'll discuss some of the problems, right? I think most Americans are very familiar with Tiananmen Square, but very few Americans are familiar with all the things in other parts of the country, right? Forced infanticide, right? Things like that. So that's a tough thing for people sometimes to get their arms around in order to do it. So that's one of the reasons why we're doing China. We'll get a little bit more into that. But yeah, it's a really big deal, even in American politics, not even if you just cared about it on its own. So it is what it is. So there we go. Any questions about that? No? I guess I should have put this over here, shouldn't I have? And I'm messing up right and left today, aren't I? Let's see if it'll do it. Let's see if I can do it. I don't even know. What is this? Let's see if I turn it on, if magic will happen or not. It probably will. Okay. As soon as class is over, I'll have all these up and it's on the thing there. A word of modality on this course. Okay. We have some specific challenges in the Department of Political Science, okay? There are 3 of us, right? That's it. So whenever you go, oh, I've taken a Dr. Perry class, I've taken a Dr. Emmer class, and I'm taking a Dr. McMahon class. You've had all of us. That's everybody, right? There's nobody else. So we have this issue where we're running 2 programs simultaneously, our online program and our face-to-face. And we don't want to sacrifice one for the other, but we do realize that we do have staffing shortcomings, right? And so this is a way to kind of bridge that, where online students and face-to-face students can take at the same time. We have essentially 2 major degree programs on top of each other with the same exact number of students, okay? If it was something like we had 60 online majors and 5 face-to-face majors, we might do something different. But we're split right about even, 30 and 30. So we have to service both at the same time. We don't want to shortchange people who are BAs. We shouldn't want to shortchange people who are in an online program. We don't want to do either. That's hard. That takes some use of the resource. And so that's what's happening in, I believe, this section. And if you're in it later, Dr. Perry's Latin America, okay? So what happens in this course is that every day we'll have every other day, we'll have a face-to-face meeting, no big problem, just like we would normally teach a class, okay? If you're somewhere else around the world, let's say you get shipped off to Cambodia, right? That's bad, okay? And you can still log in at 9:30, you'll be able to see it live, okay? If for some reason your kid's sick, you have COVID, anything's happened to you, and you just can't make any sort of a meeting time, all of the lectures are recorded for you, and you can access them at any time, okay? So you can come, you can be present, you can not be present, you can be present, whatever it may be, and everything's gonna be okay, okay? And so that makes it where any online student could take this course and any face-to-face student could take it at the same time. Most of you know me, so you know that I hate attendance policies, so I don't have an attendance policy either. If you wanna come, great, love to have you. If not, I'm still getting paid, right? So do you look like you have a question? No, not yet? Okay, good. All right. And so you can do it at your own time and leisure. All things will be submitted online. The exams, we'll have them set up for like due on like a Sunday night. We're only gonna have 3 anyway, so it's not like you're gonna have 1 a week where it's gonna go crazy. We're gonna have 3 evaluative essays, which we'll get into here in a little bit, 4 to 6 pages. You can just submit that through Canvas as well. So, and guess what? We got around. This is really, really sneaky, but we did it. No more of those bullshit discussions. You know, I have to assign you an article, right? And you have to read through it and act like you care. We don't have to play around with that anymore. Isn't that amazing? I was like, I'm so free, right? I don't have to read, great comment, guy, right? Or, wow, I really like your perspective, right? And so I'm sure many of y'all are hopefully as free as possible. And also, it's live on there, so if you're live here in class and there's something you want to say, you can just chime in, right? There's nothing that says you can't. You'll just be on Teams, turn off your microphone, ask the question, I'll try to get to it, right? So there's going to be no shortage of discussion if we need to do that too, right? So it seems like this might actually work. This room's great. You can see there's a camera right there. He's looking at me, right? And so, you know, I don't think it can see you on your phones or anything. So I think you'll be safe, all right? But there we go. Does that make sense, everybody? I know it's kind of a weird way, and I know it's a little different, but just imagine all the good things that could come of something like this, or no more of the discussions, right? Relegate that to the sidelines of poor decisions in higher education history, right? All right. All assignments will be submitted online so that every type of student can take the course while not sliding the content in any way, shape, or form. The essays, well, we'll get to it in a second. I don't want to get ahead of myself here. All right. That's me. I'm Taylor, right? Y'all should know I'm Taylor. You've probably seen my YouTube announcements, right? Go to do this. Apply to graduate, do this, right? Da, 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 da. I know. Big blank underscore T at utpd.edu. Most of you know that's the easiest way to get in contact with me. So it is what it is. Office hours.
So email is the best way to get a hold of you?
Absolutely. Things that I realistic get answers from me probably in 24 to 48 hours, almost always, right? If it takes longer than that, it's usually a weekend, or I've been drinking on weekend, one of the two, right? That's the only way that I don't get back to you within 48 hours. I check it all the time. I have it dinged on my schedule Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Make sure you answer emails if you haven't in the last 48. So, and I respond to almost everything. Unless it's truly ridiculous emails, right? Like, at the end of, last semester, I think in my intro class, someone sent me an email that says, I have a 21 average in your class. How do I make an A for the semester 1 day before the final? I didn't respond to the email because what I originally wrote was invent a time machine, go back to the beginning of the semester and actually study for the exams. But I didn't want to write that and get in trouble, right? Of course. So other than completely ridiculous ones like that, I always answer. There's almost no time I don't. So office hours, kind of weird. I don't have any set up yet. This is the only class I'm teaching face-to-face, but I can meet with anyone at any time, basically. I got drop off for 5-year or for the 3-year-old at 7:30, and then I have pickup at 2:30 to 3 o'clock every single day. So, but anything other than that, I can meet with you. Shoot me an email and say, hey, I'm gonna be on campus at this time. Can you meet with me? I'll say, sure, right? Absolutely. So I'm pretty much available. I'm in my office more than most here, so even on other days, sometimes you can catch me there, so, all right, phone. It's on the syllabus. If you wanna call me, you can, but it doesn't go well usually. Um, you know, emails are so much better for students to write. You know, you can write, hey, Taylor, can I do this? I'll reply, yes, no, right? Taylor, what do you think about this? Here's my response. A lot of times when students call me, they go, Dr. McMichael, I was just wondering if it was kind of possible, if you could, if it not possible for you to, you know, you get a little bit nervous. I'm sitting there waiting for you to spit out the sentence. So of course you can call me, you can leave a message on my voicemail. I'll get to them when I get to them. But email's overwhelmingly the better way to get in contact with me, and I get in contact with students all the time, so yeah. All right.
Okay, so I do have one good question.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm not disrespecting anybody else here, but I have a very heavy schedule. I pastor a church.
Yeah.
I have staff, people I move
Sure.
around. And so, and then I have preaching engagements on top of all of that. And so the question is, if I'm out, you're not gonna be, if I'm out and I can get online where I'm at.
There's no chance
at
possible.
that particular time, because I'll be in California, Arkansas.
That's great. We have students like that all the time.
Okay.
You're beautiful, right? Everything's great.
Do you think all my professors, all three of you are gonna be flexible with that?
Yeah, I mean, the only other one that has a course like this,
I'm taking Latin American.
Latin America will. I know Latin America will. Dr. Barrett and I have talked about that very extensively.
I mean, my
Yeah.
schedule is just heavy, dude.
Yeah, Dr. Perry and I have talked about that, because, you know, we kind of floated it. We were like, hey, what do you think? Do you think this would work? You know, kind of got this issue and this one, and he said, well, I'm great with it if you are. For those of you who don't know,
I forget who the third one is.
Dr. Emmer. Dr. Emmert's going to be all online.
Dr. Emmert's gonna be all online?
Not all online, but I think the only upper division classes he's teaching is a pure online Congress, right?
Congressional politics.
Yeah, and he's teaching a straight Congress. It's only online.
It's only online.
Yeah, so you would never have any classes to show up there.
That's
So,
the third one I'm taking, I don't know.
but yeah, Dr. Perry's gonna be flexible from, I just saw him, I didn't talk to him this morning because we were both teaching, he had the honor seminar and then I teach this one, and he teaches that one at 11, so, but.
That'd be great, because I mean,
Yeah, that's our goal.
I'm sweating because I put a lot into my stuff. I mean, I'm a straight A student, but
Yeah, and so, for the most part, we're reticent of that in political science, right? We want to make it easier. Not easier on the material, but easier for students to be engaged, you know, to do what they need to do, you know, that type of thing. We're not the type of program that's just gonna go, oh, well, no, we're only doing face-to-face and be here 50 hours an hour. We're not gonna do that, okay? So, and Dr. Emmer is mostly, if not all online. I think you will have office hours if you need to talk with Dr. Emmer one-on-one. Yeah, you know, his wife had some surgeries. So she's one of the high risk sort of categories. So he's not gonna play around with, you know, oh, I need to go meet all the time and do it. He's gonna try to do things virtually if he can, the best he can.
we're talking Emmer?
Yeah, Emmert, yeah. I mean, it was a year or two ago when she had the surgery, but I think he's still pretty cautious about it now. Yeah, don't blame him with all this stuff going on. Yeah, be careful, you know. Same thing for this class, you know. If you're feeling sick, or anything like that, just don't come. I mean, it's not that hard, right? You're not gonna hurt my feelings, right? As I tell people, I'm getting paid on the first either way, right? Come, great. If you don't, great. I'm glad to see you. But if there's other things, then there's other things. Political science isn't going anywhere. We'll be here, right? We'll be here decades from now. right? I mean, as an institution, not as all of us, right? Um,
So pretty much everything that you want is on the syllabus and the course material.
Yes,
So I follow that to a T.
we're gonna be fine in here. We're gonna be fine in here.
Okay,
You haven't had me, I don't think, before, because we're easy peasy here.
well, I'm transferred from Odessa College.
Okay, we're easy peasy. We're gonna keep things pretty, we're pretty laid back in political science. I think there's a couple of students that have been here a while that know, we're pretty laid back about things.
Well, I'll probably be stressed for all of us, okay, because I want to make an A.
It's okay, it's okay. It's okay.
I don't do classes that I don't do well in, so I get frustrated fast.
All right, so phone, I think I got that one right. Office hours, I'll meet with you whenever you want it, you know. The other thing is, we can also do virtual office hours. I can set up a meeting in Microsoft Teams. I know I did with Alyssa, I think at one point, right? We can do it there, have a little camera. I think she was at work, I was at work, it was perfect, right? She got to skip work, I got to skip work, it was great.
That worked out great.
Right? I have a camera, I think at most of the places I'll be. In my office here at UTB, and at home I definitely do. And so, but yeah, it's easy, you know, there's no reason to go crazy this semester. All right. Oh my gosh. Text. I forgot the actual book at home, but it's on your syllabus here. You see a copy of it, it looks like this. It's called Governing China. It's not expensive. It's kind of cheap. It's not a super new book. It's kind of a, it's not methodological for those of you who still hate me from 3301 and 3302, right? It's not numbersy at all. It's real easy breezy. It's narrative style. It's not going to have the detail of one of those big, thick history books, you know, that's like this, right? 28-page, 6,000-page, you know, tome about, you know, the clothes some peasant Chinese girl was wearing in 1348 or something, right? That's not us, okay? It's a good book. I just haven't read it a couple of times before and going through it. It's relatively interesting. I think it strikes a very good balance. I think we have a lot of issues, especially with, as of course we'll get into it in this semester, with the Communist Party. And what you'll realize very quickly is that they're very good at propaganda. And they're very, very good at getting it out there and getting out stories and narratives about how they'd like to be perceived rather than what actually is. This book is a good, but there's also sort of that pushback too, right? Where it's a little bit over the top critical of everything the CCP does. So that book is a pretty good middle ground, I think. Where of course they're going to point out a lot of the failures, but also there, especially in the early days of Mao, you know, there were a lot of successes in the Communist Party, right? There was a lot of lifting out of poverty, things like that, but it's not going to be sensationalized in the same way I think we see now in contemporary accounts of China, right? It's either China's not bad at all, right? Or China's, you know, destroyed it, right? Invaded tomorrow, right? And so the book does, I think, a pretty good job of that. It was published in 2004. So it is a little bit behind some of the newer developments, which we'll get into in the last part of the course, and we'll supplement that with some things. But for the most part, it's good. It's well balanced, and I like that about it a little bit more than most. So, all right, grading. 3 evaluative essays, 4 to 6 pages. Those will come online probably about 10 days or so before they're due. From when I looked at the schedule and things like that, I think I had it as the end of February, maybe? Something like that, middle of February, about a month or so from now, so probably in about a week or two I'll post it. It'll be very open-ended. It'll be, and they will certainly be about how you characterize how governance was under Mao, right? I mean, we have things like the Great Leap Forward, right? But we also have the Cultural Revolution, right? And the mass killing of people who could read.
I apologize.
Sure.
What are we talking about?
Oh, on the schedule here, I put it as, it'll be an evaluative essay. If you look at it on page, they don't even put page numbers on it, but it's this one right here in the tentative course schedule. And then under week 6 or week 5 there is whenever we'll have it. So it'll be due on a Sunday night. I know. If you need a little extra time, I know. We can do whatever. I'll be okay with it. I'll be okay
It's
with
going
it.
everywhere though, it's like Sunday night, so I've gotta stay a week ahead of you guys.
We'll try to help out, man.
Weekend is the worst, man.
Alright. But we'll figure something out there. It'll have one objective
I'll
examination.
try to stay a week ahead of you.
If you need something, just let me know. I'm okay. No one's gonna freak out or anything.
When you read your,
Is there a page limit? Yeah, 6. Don't want more than 6, please. I don't wanna read more than that.
okay, how many words?
I don't care. I'm gonna read them. I mean, I know that sounds bad or whatever, but I'm gonna read them. I'm caring much more about your thoughts and how you organize it than you are. I mean,
So if I get straight to the point, you have to.
that's fine too. That's fine with me too.
You're serious?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Some of those people that don't even here know that, the 50-page paper that says nothing is terrible, right? The 1-page paper that says nothing is better than the 50-page page that says nothing.
Because you have to read it.
It's exactly right, right?
I get it.
But the 1 page that says nothing is still not good,
I've
right?
read a lot of junk in my life, so I understand exactly what you're talking about.
So, yeah, that's kind of the deal with it.
So you're basically wanting us to be mature about it and write a good essay.
Just be mature, right? Don't write,
Like.
disband China, right?
China was.
We're taking it over.
Bombed like.
Yesterday.
Like, right now.
4 days ago, they should have been bombed already, right? What is Biden doing? No, right? Anything like, yeah, let's just be mature about it, be analytical about it. I'll pass out good ones, or I'll post good evaluative essays from other classes I've taught where I do have the same ones in there. Not the same exact thing, but similar questions. I'll give you the question, and you'll see it and you'll go, oh, okay, that's what kind of good stuff looks like to him.
Can I start on this now?
Yeah, I haven't written it up exactly yet, but I will soon.
Okay.
So, and when I do, I'll post it on there and there'll be a big announcement about it. It'll say, hey, it's up there if you want to go and look at it. It is going to be very clearly about whether you think Mao Zedong's reign was successful or not. I mean, that's kind of the entire gist of pre-1980 or so China is what happened in the revolution, how did governance work under Mao, was it positive, was it negative, it depends on who you were too, right?
From what you think.
Yeah, and so that's what that's like. And then I'll have one objective exam. It'll be 25 multiple choice questions, straight off our lecture slides. They'll be relatively easy in the sense of there's not going to be any tricks or anything like that. It's going to be very straightforward, just to ensure that we have multiple ways of evaluating.
Are you
Right?
okay with sarcasm?
Yeah. Well, it's pretty much my life.
I mean.
Right.
Okay, here's the thing, I was just asking because some of my professors aren't, and I'm pretty
okay.
sarcastic, I'm both ways,
Yeah. So no, it's no.
But I'm pretty sarcastic. So.
There's no problem with it. There's no problem with it for me.
I
But
like writing, so sarcasm is just,
see, I hate writing and I hate reading.
oh, wow.
That's what the Lord invented TV for. All right? I'm just kidding. All right.
TV.
All right. Professionalism. Complete all your work on time with the highest level of detail, attention to detail. Be careful whenever you write things. You know, I know it's not the end of the world, but it kind of reflects poorly when I see the wrong there. Right? Or, you know, you just kind of go through it and you go, you know, it's not the end of the world or anything like that to me, but just be a little bit careful whenever you do things. Honesty. I'm going to be honest right now. And a couple of y'all that have had me before know that sometimes I don't write the most positive things. Right? It will never be hurtful, but it will be to the point. And I may write, this is terrible, right? I may write, this is good, but you're gonna get 100% honesty from me, not the, oh, something that's really bad and I just write, oh, this is really good just to get it off my desk. That didn't happen with me. I'm gonna spend time reading in detail to try to know. Those of you, of course, that you have me before know that when we've written papers, you know, and that sort of thing. I go through pretty closely, so that's one point on there. Communication, I kind of said this, I respond to all emails in 24 to 40 hours, excluding weekends, right? So if you send me Friday at 5, I answer it Monday 8 a.m., right? If you send it on Monday, I get it by Wednesday. I get you a response by Wednesday. But I don't sit up and answer emails on Sunday nights usually. There we go.
That's okay with me.
Yeah. You know, and do you really want what I'm gonna send you back on a Sunday at 9 p.m.? No, you don't want that answer, right?
You won't get any emails today.
Yeah, and then see, you won't see it till tomorrow morning anyway, so what's the,
Okay.
here's the other thing. I was once famously told, Michael, there is nothing so important in political science that it can't wait till tomorrow morning. Right?
Okay.
We are not in a high pressure, high end, I don't want to say we're not in results oriented, but where things have to be done within minutes. Okay, that's for the rest of the world, right? Political science, we're not in retail, right? We're not trying to get things done quickly. We're not trying to do that. We're trying to do the best that we can to expand knowledge, and whether that's to students or research or whatever it may be. Okay, and that doesn't have to be quick. You know, it doesn't have to be. And so these things can always wait, and political science will always be there. So, all right. I don't really want to get started on the lecture notes.
Okay, and can I ask a question?
Sure, go for it.
Tests. Okay, so,
Sure.
So let's, I want to get your mind on tests.
Okay.
Some professors, I have to read their mind on what's going to be on the text. Will I have to read your mind? Or
No, you get a list of concepts.
Okay, all right.
You won't get like these are the exact questions, but for example, one of the things we'll talk about in this lecture is nativism, right? And nativism just being that it was this response to the West, especially in the 19th century, that there needed to be Chinese solutions to these problems and challenges that the West was bringing to them, right? About opening for trade and things like that. So the question will be, which of these best describes nativism, right? Nativism will be on the review sheet, right? So you'll know that that concept is going to be asked at some way, shape, or form.
So most of yours are going to be kind of essay type questions?
No, they'll be all multiple choice.
They're all multiple choice?
They're all multiple choice here. We're gonna go ahead and evaluate your writing through the evaluative essays.
Okay.
So we're already gonna get at that, so I don't need you to sit and write. And also, it's just not, I like to have an indicator of not just how well they're performing writing, but whether they have good course knowledge too at the same time.
Sure, sure.
And sometimes you can skirt that if it's just writing, right? Sometimes those, you know.
So if I communicate well with you and we communicate back and forth, I should have no problem.
Yeah, I can't imagine that would be a problem. So, but yeah, and that's how the test will be. I know a couple of y'all were in public policy, which would be similar to that. So, not impossible exams. In that class, we have a range of them. If I need to curve, I'll curve. I can't imagine a reason I would need to, but if we do, we do.
Cause you do know how you sound when I read your syllabus. Every one of you are like, we will not accept, we will not accept.
Yeah, well, that's to stop the knuckleheads. That's to prevent the knuckleheads. That's the knuckleheads, yeah. Syllabi are one part meant to be informative, but one part to cover your ass, right? In case something bad happens at some point, and so that's what we're gonna do in there. But for the most part, we're not gonna go that route. The one thing I did want to kind of talk about, since we do have a couple of minutes here, just kind of why you really want to be in here and you don't want to be in China. You know, well, we don't want to be in China, do we? Nah, maybe, right? If you're doing some ministering, you might want to be, right? You know, there's a lot of ministries there. So
Probably you don't want to be in China, but yes, ministerially, you probably need to be in China, but that in itself could be very dangerous as well, so.
I don't want to call it the word, I don't want to call it the worst, I'll
There's some
say it.
history on that, but, there's been,
It's not ideal.
preachers and missionaries that went in there and they didn't come out.
Yeah.
So, I would say.
The only one.
No, you probably don't even want to be in there ministerially.
The only calling I saw that was more, I don't want to say it was questionable, but you gotta be wondering. I knew a guy that was questioned to minister in Saudi Arabia as a Christian.
You know, we
Yeah,
have
so.
a missionary in Kurdistan, which is very,
Talk about a tough gig,
Oh,
right?
man, he tells these stories, and you can't post him.
Sure,
If you
of
post
course.
him, dude,
Of course, you don't wanna.
they'll hang him on a, I mean, that's.
Get my antenna realigned if the Lord says, you know,
I know.
call to go to Saudi Arabia.
When he told me he was going to Kurdistan, I was like, dude, you sure, check that little line you got.
Yeah, that's,
But he's been there for 3.5 years, I think he's still doing great, so.
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I've always wondered what the life expectancy is,
So,
right? You know, because, you know, you see a lot higher end too, right? You know, where
sure.
they get put on the show trials and things like that.
I think the only thing worse than going to China would probably sending a missionary to our little dictator in Korea.
Oh, well, you wouldn't even get in.
Oh, you don't.
You can't even get in DPR, it's impossible. I mean,
That's true.
yeah, you wouldn't even be able to get in. You'd have to sneak across the border. We'll get into that too in this course, right? How to get into North Korea, right? For all of you that are, you know, it is illegal for you to enter, so you would have to sneak across the border, from China into.
Death is imminent.
If they see you, yeah.
Imminent.
So, but one of the reasons why we really need to look at China and just in this course and just in general as a well-rounded political science sort of background is because, one is that it's going to have, of course, the intelligence community sort of issues, right? Some of you will, if you're early enough into your degree, the intelligence minor will come on this fall, right? And this will be one of the courses which can be used for that intelligence minor. And so, for obvious reasons why it's so important, but the other part of it is that China's economy is the second biggest in the world, right? With the largest population in the world. And there is a lot of mixed opinions about the rise of China, whether it's good, bad, right? But also whether it's real, right? I know we kind of go, oh, of course it's real. We have big people, right? But there's also a lot more claims that this China's going to take over the world is not as ironclad as you would think it is, okay? Lucky for me, I spent my time as a Japan specialist for the most part. And I know all these articles from the 80s saying literally the exact same thing about Japan, right? Japan is number one, rule from Americans, right? Japanese guy that bought, wherever they have the Masters against the National, right? Pebble Beach, right? There was all this sort of craze of, oh, they're gonna take over the world, da 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 da. You better put your kids in Japanese class, right? We don't even offer Japanese here, right? And so sometimes we need to be a little bit, I don't want to say skeptical, but at least put our brakes on it a little bit, right? And go, maybe not, right? People older than me can probably even remember when the USSR was going to take over. We're all going to speak Russian, right? People in the 40s can remember where you better start learning German. And so all of these sort of calls of this thing that's imminent, that something's going to happen no matter what, is sometimes not a good way to go about things. And to give us a little bit of a pause, right? And to go, oh, maybe not, right? Maybe not. The other part of it from a political science point of view is that I realized that when we went through the schedule and our catalog, we don't teach very many courses about authoritarian nations here, right? And how authoritarian institutions work.
You don't, I noticed that too.
And this is sort of an attempt to get at that a little bit, because authoritarian governments, they do similar things to democracies. Okay, I know people are going to freak out. He just said authoritarian democracy. We're all going to hyperventilate with our freedom here in the US, right? All right. But they do similar things. They provide goods and services, right, to people. They provide levels of protection. They provide a rule of law, whether it's good or not, right? But they do have to do these things. They have to control within their own borders. They do similar things to what democracies do, just with a different selection method of how people control it, right? And so China's a good way to look at this, right? Because it's mixed, okay? As we're going to talk about it, we'll go, okay, they do have elections at the local level in China all the time, okay? Are they free and fair? Now, you do have to be a member of the party. But it costs $20 basically to be a member of the Communist Party in China right now, right? We're not talking, it costs more to run for a member of the House of Representatives in Texas than it does to become a member of the CCP and run for a local office in China, right? And so you kind of go, oh, wow. Maybe there's some things there, right? They do some things that are authoritarian, some things that are democratic, okay? In the same way I'd say in the United States, right? We do some things very democratically and some things more authoritarian, okay? And so that's another point of it too, is that how authoritarian governments work, why they work in that way, public goods, how they pass them out, or how they distribute them. Pass them out makes it sound like a bread line or something, right? But how they allocate scarce resources is what governments do, whether they're authoritarian, democratic, whatever they may be. And so that's the other part that we're really interested in this course. So, am I missing anything? No, I know you're all devastated, all right? But we're gonna end pretty early here today. You'll just have to call your therapist, right? You have to sit down, right?
What time is it supposed to be?
10:40 or so.
Oh.
So it's not too bad. If you have any questions, I'll stay for a little bit. As I said to you before, usually we'll be at least closing the door a little bit. Got some people out there always trying to get my business. Right? My China class isn't anything business. Right? So, any questions? No? So you're supposed to graduate this semester or in the fall?
Wait, what?
Are you supposed to graduate this semester or in the fall?
This semester. I need to go back and check.
Okay.
I was gonna ask you.
Okay, well, we can do that too, Because I was starting to put a list together, because I was like, I know the 5 or so that have already sent me stuff. I was like, yeah, I think I'm here, but I need to talk to you about it. And I said, oh, okay, so, but I couldn't remember yours, if yours was then or that, or.
This moves beyond the class, beyond
Sure.
the stuff that, do you do a master's in Do we do a master's here in political science?
We do in public administration, it's different. I'm on camera, so I'll say it's different. I'll just say it's just a different experience. It's, sure, it's more for training people that are gonna work in public administration than it is political science. So for example, they'll do things on public budgeting, managing public employees, things like that a little bit more than. Yeah, no, not even, well, I mean, some of them do end up doing that, yeah, after they've done that for a while, but yeah, we do have that, and some students do great there, so, it's just a little bit different than political science. I just don't want anyone to get the opinion that it's similar, yeah, but it's a little different than, probably what we do there. So I do teach in it though, so, but I'm the only political science faculty that teaches in it currently, so, poor me, huh? Right? Poor me, right? Poor students, right? Poor graduate students that have to deal with me. But yeah. So, anything else? No? You sure can.
So about the exams, they're gonna be timed, right, like any other?
1 hour, 25 questions, 1 hour, that means over 2 minutes apiece. It's open book, open note, so it'll be online, so.
Oh my gosh.
So, look, we're not looking to crash anyone's GPA in this course, right? That's not what we're looking to do here. Not that I would be doing that anyways, right, but, we're not here to crash anything. We're here to, work hard, play hard though, right? Have a good time while we're working hard, right? Because, stuff like this should be fun, right? China? Yeah, right? Yeah, right? And so, but yeah. All right, well, I guess I'll go ahead and dismiss it and we'll just start. I'll post the notes. I did before I came to class because, well, it's my fault. I just didn't do it. Right? I was in the office doing it quickly. But I'll have it up there here in just a few minutes as soon as I get back down to my office there. And then we'll be ready to go. Okay, stop recording.